it certainly is an obstacle in both forms of the game.
So Callum's had to leave his clip on hoop 6, blue on 6 now, and if Robert makes this Roki, he'll have a chance to continue with his break. You'd expect him to make it. It's only about 7 yards.
You would expect him to make it, yeah. But no, he doesn't. Oh,
did we just do the commentators first?
We did. We just absolutely cursed him. He won't thank us for that later on. He's as surprised as we are. But look, Callum doesn't have an easy knock in here either. Doesn't a tricky shot ahead of him.
His is around 8 yards or so as well, isn't it?
Yep.
Or maybe closer to 10. Of course, we talk in yards for croquet.
That's right. Very, very similar to the meter, of course. Enough for us to have a conversation. Oh, and he's missed too. Well, they're spraying it around like a fake tan at the moment. That's amazing.
3 shots in a row that we didn't expect to see. We keep saying that everybody's a little bit rusty, and of course we haven't been able to get on the court very much. So we'll leave it at that. Everybody's a little rusty.
Well, to be fair, both of those shots are eminently missable. I mean, in any competition, you're going to miss a few like that because you only need to be less than a degree out on your execution, and you will miss shots of that sort of distance. So what's more remarkable is that people at this level make them with the regularity that they do. So Trish, you were going to say.
No, I was going to say we forgive them, and a lot of it is concentration, and there can be things like the wind affects them as well. So there's another one. Gosh. I am surprised though. Those would be shots that players practice routinely, 7 to 10 yard Rokis, in association as well as in golf.
Yeah,
croquet.
So
we'll
what do you
get
think
on
Callum
now.
should do here?
Robert's balls are together, so Callum's got to hit something.
He does
at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Robert has a rush down the court.
Yeah. So, as Trish was saying, Callum has to hit one of Robert's balls. He can't really go and hide anywhere. So he's electing to shoot at either the red or the yellow. And he gets it. Great shot.
This time.
Well, there you go.
Connect.
There you go.
Now, that was a much longer shot, wasn't it?
It was. That was a full 25 yards, and Callum picked that off beautifully, and not quite getting the cannon that he might have liked, but fantastic. Makes him the in player, measuring everything in. So when a ball goes off the boundary, it gets measured in 1 yard. So every croquet player knows where 1 yard is on their mallet. And Callum now thinking about what he's going to do. Now, I can't remember whether the black ball is for for hoop 1 or hoop 6. I think it's for hoop 1. I guess we'll see the clip position in a moment. So Callum has made 5 points, but which ball has actually made the first 5 hoops is something that I can't remember. But he is getting behind the yellow. No, that's all right. He's getting behind the yellow to rush it down towards the blue ball, which is on the southern boundary. Or in this case, it looks like it's going to be more of a rush to hoop 1.
I can't tell what colour that clip is on hoop 1 either.
So the score actually turns out that it's in blue, black, red, yellow order, which I guess is sensible, isn't it? So the 5 is the blue. I didn't realise that.
Well, that's good. So he has got a rush to hoop 1, and he's got a ball still up near hoop 2. So he's almost developing a break already.
Already, that's right. He needs to push this
Yellow's
one through.
well forward, so when he comes through, he should have a rush in the direction he wants to go on that yellow ball.
That's right. Still a knee-knocking roquet to come up here, though, Trish. I wouldn't fancy that myself, but oh, beautiful shot. Look at that. Struck
That's
so beautifully.
Very good.
Yeah,
he can get in
so
behind
nice.
red. He needs to bring red into hoop 2, so that position is really good for him. He needed to get past it if possible. A little takeoff here to get himself behind the red. And of course, if black goes out, that would be the end of turn. So he's taking a neat little takeoff here.
Yeah, that was a really beautiful shot. And that's a lovely shot too. Look at that. Absolutely perfect position to play the red towards hoop 2.
It's interesting that Callum is able to do those little tiny touch shots, because I think you mentioned before he plays with a particularly heavy mallet.
Yes. Yes, it's quite confronting to just pick it up. Actually, I don't know. I've had when I've passed the mast, I thought, oh my goodness, that's taken me by surprise. So he
told me that his father made him the mallet when he first started to play.
Well, he played a slightly tentative shot there, didn't he? Because he's left himself with a tricky angle on this hoop, and he bounces off against it. Yeah.
And
yes, that's unfortunate.
Easy shot with red.
Yep.
And red
showing my new.
Yeah. Red's
yes,
the ball that
red is
wants
the ball.
To play.
Yes. So red is the ball that scored 2 points and is on hoop 3. It's looking to make hoop 3. And as Trish says, that's the one that Robert is going to be playing this shot with. So that's fallen quite nicely for him. Got a little bit of work to do.
Yes, everything else is near the boundary. So he's going down to see if he can get behind blue. And that's very doable, but then blue has to get up towards yellow. So there's still, as you say, a lot of work to be done. His aim will be to bring the balls in. He'll be aiming to bring the balls into the court to make it much easier for him to continue with the break. He's thinking about this now. Looks like he's deciding not to bother with going to blue. Thinking of setting a good leave by the look of it. Sometimes in the middle of the game.
A good leave trick. A good leave would presumably mean, though, that he needs to get the blue out into a nasty position. It's not really threatening in corner 1 there, is it? If he wants to make life difficult for Callum, you'd think he'd want to get the blue out of corner 1.
Yes, but he would be forcing black to play because black would be at Robert's next hoop. But he's looking to travel quite a long way with red. He's moved right over the ball, so he's going back up to yellow. And if he sets a rush to that wayward blue, Callum won't be firing black at blue.
Yes, I see. Yeah. Yeah, good point. Yeah, so that was an incredible shot there, wasn't it, Tricia? Because he did a roll that's gone 35 yards for the red, and 30 odd yards for the black. So the power.
That's a huge shot.
Oh, now look at this.
He's
rushing
looking at
the yellow over.
Yeah,
rushing the yellow over.
So he can load yellow down to 4 and stop in front of the hoop, and the break continues.
Amazing. Wow,
That was a great shot. A great two
so
shots.
Yeah, so enterprising to get up there and then see the possibility of the rush to do, as you say, the load and hold. Now, when Trish talks about a load and hold, what she means is that Robert's going to load the next hoop with the yellow and hold the position of the red ball in front of hoop 3. So it's accomplishing two things with the one shot, and of course the black ball is waiting for the red after it's made the hoop. So the yellow comes down the lawn somewhat, and the red is in hoop scoring position.
He didn't have a lot of room to send yellow a long way.
No.
If red and yellow had been on the boundary, he might have got it further. But it was a little bit underdone.
Oh,
left him an angle with the red.
Callum back on. We're seeing a lot more interaction now than we might have expected.
That's right. I don't know if black can actually see the red ball either. He might have to fire at the yellow.
I think he can. Look, he's certainly not hesitating.
No.
And picks it off. Okay. Well, that's very interesting. So black, remember, for hoop 1. So hoop 2, sorry. It's already made hoop 1. And Callum now engineering.
He's not very happy with that.
No, I think he was probably trying to get a rush on the yellow to the blue.
Either to blue or to hoop 2, but either way, he didn't get it. Oh, well, a cut helps.
A cut helps, certainly does.
Yeah.
Let's update the map. So that's black that Callum's playing. Good enough there.
That's a great little tool you've developed there, Gareth.
Yes, it's got a lot of potential, I think. I think once we get it to where we can draw on it a little bit more and also expand it on demand, we can really get some good explanations going.
It gives you another job. Oh, that's a lovely shot.
Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, look, he's got behind the blue ball and he should be able to get it up the park. And that's fantastic. Look at that shot.
That's beautiful.
That is unbelievable.
Amazing what they can pull out when they have to, isn't it? That was
isn't it just
wonderful touch there.
That is so good. To get the power and the...
Yep. He's near hoop 2 and he's got a load for hoop 3 still sitting there. Red ball is the load through the hoop. And now another Roki, and then he's away.
He is. Josh having a sleep in the bay of number 4 there. So
I noticed Lockie's on in play.
He's clearly the out player in that game.
Yeah, Lockie's on a roll.
Yeah. Well, I'm still in absolute awe of Callum's rush up to hoop 2. I just thought that was sensational.
But he needs to follow that with a really good load down to 4 and a good rush on red. Here we go.
Well,
yes.
I think he's... Oh, because he's going to go out!
Overcooked it a little, but no, we're still in.
So he's overcooked it on both balls a bit there, hasn't he? Because both of them have gone a little bit further than he would have liked. Oh, but that's a decent shot.
Yeah, preferred shot for making this hoop approach is actually behind the hoop, and beside it is a little uncomfortable, but I think he'll be all right.
Yep, that should be okay.
So there's the clips for Robert's game. We can see now Robert's on 4 back with yellow and on 3 with red.
So Callum should have a break going now. He's all the balls are in the lawn. He's got a pioneer. He should be able to get something going.
That's right. This ball will go down. This one will go down to 5, and then he's got 2 to choose from to hit after that. So I think he should be right now. I hope we haven't cursed him again by saying that, but it's certainly looking promising.
Yes, we've got to be very, very careful with, with what we say. I think. Do you think he's going to do a big roll here to get down to the yellow?
Yes, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Obviously, and of course, he's only made 5 hoops with the other ball, with the blue. So this break, you'd expect him to stop at 4 back and set a leave. Oh, wow. He was trying a peel, Gareth.
Yes, he was trying a peel, but with what? With what purpose?
I've no idea.
Oh gosh. Amazing. I mean, yeah. I mean, he was certainly sizing it up for long enough, wasn't he? It must have been deliberate. Surely. Why would you? I really understand. Maybe one of our viewers would be able to tell us why Callum might have been trying to peel red through hoop 3 there.
Oh, possibly to delay Robert on his other peels if he gets back in. But the other alternative is that he didn't have very much room to get past the hoop in order to load down to hoop 5, and maybe he just miscalculated.
Well, that would be a good explanation as well. Yeah. All right, going back up there.
You could go back and fetch it.
Yeah.
Callum has a very good rush shot, and I suppose part of that is the heavy mallet, but he just seems to barely touch the ball and it will shoot the length of the court.
It's noticeable how he doesn't really have any grip on his mallet. Or is that just my imagination? It just looks like one long shaft of wood.
I think so, yep. Callum's got extremely strong hands. He's a rock climber, Australian champion, I believe, rock climber. Yes. He can hang from an architrave by his fingertips.
Yes, I know. It's incredible.
He's very strong.
He's doing this again, Trish. You're right. It's a peel of opponent, perhaps to try and just stop the opponent from getting a triple going.
It seems to be, yes. But it would just also be just because it's Callum, because he likes to do things a little differently, and he's very clever. He would have worked out that this is perhaps the optimal thing for him to do. So, yeah.
Beautiful. We had a long discussion, Trish, about pull with Pete, and Callum didn't compute it there at all. He just said, "Oh, this is just going through."
That's experience, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. Well, that was incredible. That was incredible.
Yeah, it was a great peel. We might have to ask him afterwards what was he thinking. But I do think the answer is to make it more difficult for Robert.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, really interesting. The tactics and for those who are in awe of that, as we are, it's a sign of respect to Robert that Robert is so good that he can, if he's got enough time, he can perform a triple peel. So what Callum is doing there is taking away that time, because you've taken one hoop out of Robert's sort of repertoire to engineer the triple. So it's a real sign of Robert's ability that Callum is bearing in mind.
It's putting him into what they call a delayed triple peel, isn't it? It's not delayed very much, but it's not starting quite as early as your standard triple peel. But Robert can do it from anywhere, as can Callum. He's a very speedy player, isn't he? Just gets on with the job.
He's certainly giving the mini map operator a run for his money, I can tell you. It's quite interesting trying to keep up with him. It's like trying to keep up with the golf croquet players. It's if you've got two fast players going, then keeping the shots up with them is quite difficult. But Callum now rushing that ball down. Yeah.
Have you used the mini map with the golf croquet one yet?
Yes. Certainly done lots of experimenting with it, and it is actually quite difficult to map it from what you can see on the TV screen, because you can't always see where the golf croquet players are scattering the balls to. So whereas at least with the association croquet, your knowledge of ball movements and what they're likely to try and do, it means that you can sort of keep track of it a bit easier.
Yes. Sometimes they trick you.
Well, as Callum is doing at the moment, that's right. Well, I think
So I was going to say, he's not at all worried about having all the balls around him. No, often you'll find that players, particularly when they're learning the game, will say, "Oh, I can't keep the ball there because if I make a mistake, the opponent can hit it." But at this level, the idea is keep the balls with you.
So I think that what we're going to see now is Callum putting this yellow ball against or very close to hoop 2, in a position that Robert won't be able to hit it very easily.
Yes, he's setting his lead.
Yeah.
So the other ball will end up close to hoop 4, and Callum will hole up somewhere on the east boundary. I'm guessing.
Yes. Well, this is a classic shot here, loading 3 back, going to the ball at 2 back, just flirting briefly with Rover, but now in a nice position to complete the break. And as Trish said, the likelihood is that the red ball will be left against the wire of 3 back. So it's what we would call a 2-4 leave. One ball at 2 and the other at 4.
The difference this time is, of course, that Callum's other ball is for hoop 6. So the standard leave isn't as useful to him. And that ball being stuck in 1 back is not going to be useful to him at all unless he can get a direct rush to hoop 6.
That's an excellent point. Yes, I hadn't fully appreciated that this is no ordinary break, because, as you point out, the blue ball is actually on hoop 6 and not on hoop 1.
The Callum's definitely going to want to be able to get to hoop 6 so that he can then use yellow for 1 back. And Robert is going to want to, if he doesn't hit, he's going to want to make it as difficult as possible for Callum. So I don't know which ball Robert's going to be thinking of moving, because he'd like to play the red. We shall see.
Yeah, yeah. He'd like to play the red. I guess I suppose I'm not quite sure what the absolute perfect leave would be when your other ball is on hoop 6, like it is for Callum now. But he certainly seems to be shaping to leave the red ball at hoop 4.
Well, he might be considering setting a rush for blue directly to 6th.
Yes, I see. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I see what you mean. So he sets the rush to 6, and therefore, if Robert has left his yellow there, then that's a sitting duck, isn't it? In the jaws of.
But he's going up to change yellow's position,
or maybe going up to corner 2. Because he can hide on that side, can't he? Because the yellow can't hit him.
Yes, he can.
So
he can.
So with the yellow stuck in the jaws of hoop 2, Callum can hide his black and his blue balls over on that western boundary without yellow being able to hit them.
Yeah, he's put them both out, so he hasn't set himself a rush. It's a bit of a bailout, isn't it? He's just said, well, okay, this will make it difficult for you.
Yeah.
So remembering that Robert would much prefer to be playing red, but Callum may have successfully forced him to play yellow. It'll just be a matter of whether Robert can decide whether he thinks Callum can get to hoop 6 if he doesn't take yellow.
Yes, I wonder why Callum didn't. Wonder why Callum didn't set a rush to hoop 6, because that would have absolutely forced Robert to have played yellow.
Possibly because it would give Robert a better target.
Yeah.
When he went to balk. Well, Robert's having plenty to think about now, and yeah, he's decided that he's going to play red anyway. Even if he hits now, it's difficult for him to get a ball to hoop 4. Yellow's stuck in the jaws, it's not going to 4. And maybe he's just thinking, if I hit, I'll just rearrange the deck chairs and set a leave that Callum doesn't like.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it's vital that he does hit, because if he doesn't hit, Callum has got 4 balls in quite nice places there. So it's a lot of pressure on Robert here. So again, for those who are not used to association croquet, Callum, having made 9 hoops, and well, particularly having gone through 1 back, means that Robert gets a lift shot, which means he can pick his ball up and place it anywhere on A balk or B balk. And he's chosen to pick up the red ball and place it on the end of B balk, and he'll be shooting probably at blue. Although, what do I know? He's shooting at black. What do I... So I suppose that's because Trish, that blue is the ball that Callum wants to play with. So, and Robert misses another one. Yeah. So that's the reason why Robert hit the shot at black, which is slightly further away than blue, is that it gives a little bit less away. Because of course Callum wants to play with
blue. Blue can now row keep black, use red to go to hoop 6, and then yellow's waiting for him at 1 back. So Callum really in the box seat at the moment.
Well, I think he's going to play with blue, isn't he?
I'd say so.
Yeah. And this is the difference between these players and me. I'd be playing with black, so and just trying to do another leave, I think. Whereas they don't. Oh, and yep, there you go. That was the risk. That was
yes,
that was the risk.
I felt as though that corner peg was in his way and he just didn't bother to remove it. I think sometimes if you're standing so close to a ball that's near a corner peg, sometimes your feet position is a little different. Perhaps it's in your mind that there's a peg there. I usually remove them, and Callum plays so quickly he doesn't bother, and maybe it didn't bother him. He just looked awkward in that shot.
Yeah. No, that's. I agree. Callum strides up to the balls with great purpose, and little distractions like wooden pegs and things. He tends to zone them out, but as you correctly pointed out, they do affect you, and it's quite possible that that's what happened there. The grass, Trish, because we were commentating together a fortnight ago, and the lawns were very brown. They look much greener now.
And they had just been scarified too, so there would have been good access for more water to go down into the lines that have been scarified, and that'll be growing because it's a wonderful growing season now.
Yeah.
So yes, they do look a lot better. Robert's having a lot to think about here, isn't he? Working out
So what do you think his options are? He's obviously going to play with the red ball and hit the black, and then his job is to either to try and make a break with red, or to leave some sort of leave that is compelling.
He wants to get to hoop 4. And at the moment, there's yellow stuck. So yellow still has a leaf.
Well, yellow has a lift by into the fact that because Callum put the yellow there, and that means that yellow is impeded by his opponent in a way that means that if he doesn't have a clean shot on something, he can pick it up and take it to one of the baulk lines. So I had forgotten that, Trish, that yellow ball had been placed there by Callum, and so Robert could lift it.
I'd forgotten it then, but at the time that he did it, I thought, oh dear. And then we both assumed that somebody would play and move it out of there. But with the way play happened, it was still there, and because Callum's responsible for it, Robert has a wiring lift because yellow couldn't hit either side of any ball. So Robert then had to think about whether he was going to play the red or the yellow. And even though he wanted to play the red, because that's the ball that is behind, he opted. And as we saw, there wasn't a great advantage for red, except for setting another lead. So he's decided that instead of that, he'll play the yellow.
That's right. Another big roll as well. We've seen Robert do several of those big rolls where both the balls are going 30 yards or more.
So he's sent blue across to 4-back or hoop 3. And now he's firing at black and blue. I'm trying to think, where are these balls going?
Yeah.
You got any ideas, Gareth? What's the plan?
Well, I mean, he's not going to make any more hoops with this ball, is he? He's going to be doing a leave, I think.
Well, it depends. If he rushes black across there, he can load black to penult and at the same time stop in front of his own hoop and then hit blue afterwards. But I don't know. I'm looking and thinking that what he's doing is setting some sort of a lead, but then I'd wonder why blue is at hoop 3, because red's already made hoop 3, so I'd have expected it to be at hoop 4. So I just don't know what he's doing. Anyway, we'll wait and see.
I think he's going to put the black at hoop 4, and he's put the blue up at 3 just to make a really, really long shot for Callum.
Okay.
But as you say, we'll see what they do.
Okay, so he's leaving red there.
Leaving red there, and he's engineered a rush up onto the northern boundary with the black.
Yeah, and black's the only live ball left, and clearly it's not going to let him make a hoop from it. There's nowhere near the hoop, so I think it is I think you're right. Yeah, it's going to 4.
Yeah, it's going to 4, and then and then Callum's just got a super long shot of what 26 yards or so to have to make if he shoots it himself, and Robert will probably wire himself from both the blue and the black.
Probably. Blue is going to be sitting at black's hoop, and black is the ball that he's forcing him to play. So that may be not the preferred option.
Well, it's going to have a look. I may have placed blue in the wrong position on my mini map. Let's see where blue actually did go, because of course I didn't get it too bad, did I? That was quite a good prediction.
No, that's right. He could possibly be looking at wiring black and blue through hoop 3 from a long way off.
Right. You mean and sort of almost forcing Callum to shoot at him, because at the red and yellow.
Possibly, ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's raining. Raining quite hard by the looks of things. I think you're right, Trish. I think he's gone for the wire, because he's now going over to have a look.
Well, he's either going for the wire that way or going for a wire the other way, and he's gone to have a look to make sure that black and blue are actually open.
Well, it's a very deep black, isn't it?
Yes. It's designed for Callum to have nothing to shoot at rather than for Robert having a great start at the moment.
Now, I wouldn't mind betting that Callum only has...
That's a rush.
Yeah.
He's got a rush so that he can load the PLE to 4 back. Callum may have one ball in that direction that he's looking.
Yep.
Or maybe even no balls that way. Depends where the blue and black are wired. Of course, if he's accidentally wired black and blue as well as blue, red and yellow, Callum would have a lift again. So I don't
that
think
would
that's
be unfortunate.
Happening. Yeah. We're getting a little bit uncomfortable out there now with the rain, and you can see there's some wind.
Well, I would think, Trish, that I don't think the blue ball is wired from the red and the yellow, because I think that they're too far south to be wired from hoop 2. Yeah, it looks like he's going to take this shot. Here we go. From the black up towards the red and the yellow, shoots, and he gets it. Wow!
Oh,
what a shot!
That was a good one. That was a good shot, Callum.
That's a great shot, and it hit right in the middle, didn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Sometimes when your opponent gives you hardly any choice, that's the time you can pull out the shot. It's almost like your intense focus helps. And
saying that he had furniture to negotiate, so he's chosen to do a beautiful shot and leave it a couple of yards north. Well, just the perfect position in front of of hoop two. Just brilliant.
Just a little cut and dodged the peg. So it's all looking exactly where it's supposed to be now.
Well, what's particularly amazing is that we're now in a situation where the yellow is right in front of penultimate for that peel. And yet, you know, like just 5 shots ago, there wasn't, you know, no peels have been done. And yet suddenly we're in a position where we might see 2 in quick succession and him actually getting ahead of himself. So it's remarkable turnaround.
Yeah, a bit of precision play there, and all of that forethought. There's years of experience and just working out where does the ball really need to go, and the amount of head work, as you were talking about before. The tactics are so important, but also Robert has the physical skills that match those tactics.
Well, that was a beautiful rush, wasn't it? Just right in the middle of the ball, sending the blue ball all the way up to the northern boundary. And it's incredible to think that, you know, I mean, you would have been around, Trish, when Robert burst onto the scene. I believe his first ever ranking game was back in 2007, but he would have only been, what, a teenager at the time?
Yeah, I do remember playing Robert a very long time ago when he was quite young, younger than, well, a very young teenager. And he took a very risky shot and nailed it. And I said to him, well, you don't always have to go for those. And he just sort of looked at me as if to say, but I was going to hit it.
Yeah.
He does have an opportunity here now to actually do this peel. At this point, no, it's gone a little far. But if he was able to, he could have peeled it going down to the ball at 3 back. No, there was no need to, but it could have been a nice, easy one. I think Robert's one of a couple of players here who played as a very young person. Stephen is another. I think Stephen was around 11 and he was playing. And I think Robert was about the same age, maybe 12. And we've also got a couple of players here who had quite a long break from the game and have come back. Lockie's one of those. He was 20 years, I think, up in the Northern Territory and had played a lot before that and then started again a few years ago. Andrew Wolfen's another one who's playing here. He had years away from it. And Josh Wilson, we've just welcomed back. And Josh played a lot, but disappeared 5 or 6 years ago, and now he's back, which is terrific. Both his parents play as well. It is a game for all generations. So
yes, it's a great field because we've got established champions like Robert and fantastic talent like Josh all in the same competition. So it's a really enthralling mixture. So Robert,
it's good to see some of them.
Oh, just clipping the black as he came through.
Yeah. Well, black's now for 4 back, and he's got 2 balls up there. He'll place, sorry, red's for 4 back. He'll place the black so that it's available for his peel, and he can jiggle yellow into better position and then use blue to make 4 back.
Yep, he might even, I mean, ideally he'd be looking to get just south of yellow on this shot so that he can put it into peeling position and then peel yellow as he goes towards the blue, which, as you say, he needs to use to make 4 back. So let's. I think he's been successful with that. I think he's got the red into just the right position south of yellow to put yellow in front of the hoop.
Yes, and if it peels, well and good. If it doesn't, he'll be looking at jawsing it.
Yeah. Oh, that looks nice.
The main thing here will be to making sure that he's got the rush on blue across to 4-back.
Yep.
I think Callum might be just about making a cup of tea now.
I think so. I think if Robert's in this position, you would be imagining that this yellow is either going to go through or it's going to be in the jaws, and the red will be in a lovely line with the blue to send the blue on the way towards 4-back. Well, there's the jaws, maybe slightly against the wire, not perfect, but I wouldn't mind betting that the blue is perfect, and it is. So we've got that lovely rush now, red onto blue to send blue towards 4-back, and that is perfect.
That's right. At this stage of the game, Robert will be concentrating even harder because it's so easy to start thinking, oh, well, it's all over now. It's going to be very easy, but you have to focus on every single shot just the same. And he'll be doing that with all the experiences he's had of finishing games from this position. Nicely through. Oh, in the background, I can see Lockie pegging out a ball.
Yeah. That's was that against Josh? I think. I'm not sure.
Josh, yeah, pegged it. There we are. There's the peg out. Yeah. Now back to this game. Yellow in perfect position to do the peel.
Yep.
Robert's looking at black. Don't know if he's going straight to yellow now because black's available. Doesn't have to. No, going to yellow.
So the question is here: do you just slightly tap the yellow and then do an Irish peel through? He's still live on the black, of course. It's interesting. He knocks that one through. And now, of course, he'll be able to send the yellow down to Rover whilst getting a rush on the black to come back and make penultimate with the red.
Yeah, that's right. It makes the Rover peel a lot easier if you've already done that instead of having the Irish where yellow can go down and bang into the peg. So this is much more comfortable.
Yeah.
There's often a risk that you just get the ball through and then it's a real nuisance. So he made it clear, absolutely through.
And look at the trajectory of the yellow there, Trish. The yellow is just beautifully placed now. And as you say, the rush on black towards penultimate is perfect as well. So absolute textbook play from Robert. Yep, and the perfect position for the black to be in for the approach.
Yes. Robert and Callum have played 19 recorded games, and Robert has won 15 of them, but the last time they played in 2020, Callum won. That's
right.
Some figures that have come from Croquet Scores, thanks to our producer. And Callum is indoors out of the rain.
I don't blame him. Now, we can just see the yellow in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen there. I'm not quite sure how close to Rover it is, but what we can expect to happen now is for the black to go south of Rover and the red to go in line with the blue and the yellow, so that the blue can be rushed towards the yellow, and Robert can get an absolute perfect positioning of the yellow ball so that it can run the hoop. So there's the black going south of the hoop.
And that's what's happened.
And there's the perfect rush of the red onto the blue going towards the yellow. And
Isn't
now
it good
with this
when the players do what you do what you say they're going to do? Well done, Garrett.
Well, I've got him. He's like a puppet on my string, Trish. I'm dangling the strings, and he's.
I thought you developed your mind reading skills with this one, but it is something we've seen Robert do before, and we do know that this is the process. But the perfect rush didn't quite happen. That meant he had to tap his hat. So he's now marked where he wants that yellow ball to be. Now that his head has told his body that's where it has to go, and now we'll see it go there, we hope. There it is. That's the spot he tapped, wasn't it?
Is it exactly that spot, or was that slightly at an angle from the spot that he tapped?
Oh,
I think it's an inch away.
Very, 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 very close. I'd be happy with that. But now he's carefully placing the two balls together, and they're both to go through this hoop. And he wants yellow to be well clear when red goes through, so that he's got room to be able to get it back up to the peg.
Yeah. So, that's fine. No problem with that. That's what the escape ball is there for.
Yeah. And the black ball's available so that Robert can get a perfect rush on the yellow back up to the peg.
So this is this should be a formality now. I gather there's some interesting stuff going on court 2. So if our producer decides that that's where we're going to go to pick up some exciting action on court 2, that would be great. Otherwise, always a pleasure to watch Robert terminating a game in clinical style. Yeah, so all that has to happen here is that Robert just...
Sorry, I was saying the final rush to the peg and making sure that yellow doesn't hit the peg, leaving Robert with nothing to take croquet from. So carefully close to the peg, but not too close.
Not too close.
And here's the peg out.
So in the first game, Trish, the ball that Robert's partner ball was right up against the peg. And he had to release it from the peg because it was just so close. The chances of him doing that sin that you just mentioned was very high. So there was some interesting work that he had to do to remove his own ball from the peg first. But well played, Robert. In the driving rain, Callum coming out from his cup of tea into the rain, and the shake of the hand. So 2 very, very successful games there for Robert. And so the traditional post-mortem.
Robert and Callum have now played 20 games with Robert winning 16 of them. And that does show you how remarkable Robert is as a player, because Callum is absolutely no slouch. And that was a good win. It was a good match. And lots of chewing and throwing.
Yeah, there was some amazing moments there, because we've got players who are fantastic roqueters, and yet there was that little period in the middle of the game when both of them missed a selection of shots, and in the end, of course, it proved to be more costly for Callum, but it really did lead to a lot of interaction in the middle of the game.
Often when you see that, you think that, oh, they must have lost concentration. They just got tired, and maybe they're not eating their nuts or chocolate or whatever it is that they do to keep the nutrition up during the length of a day's play, because it does take a lot out of you. The games are 2.5 hours, and if you're playing 3 games in a day, you're 7.5 hours on the court if they go to. So it is really important for your nutrition to be up, so that hydration as well. And when you get conditions like a bit of rain, bit of wind, there's all these extra things to think about and to break your attention. So yeah.
Now, Trish, looks like an interesting situation here on court 2, where where the referee Mike Conn has come out, and there's some discussion about what might happen. I think, is that Kevin underneath all of those?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Stephen's sitting over there.
Yep. And there's some. Now, I'm not sure where have we finished time in this one, and is this the last shot? Or so blue on hoop 5, red on penultimate. I've put the position of the balls on the mini map. Looks like yellow is going to come through rover. Yep. So Kevin comes through rover, and he's got obviously a chance to roquet the blue. I'm not sure what the score situation is, but we know that red is on penultimate and black is on 9. So maybe if Kate could do some sums for us and tell us what the hoop count is, and also what the time situation is, we can maybe work out what must have to happen. So Kevin has played the blue ball all the way up the court and has gone towards his own red ball. So Trish, you're probably better at the sums than me. This is one of my great failings in croquet, is not being able to keep track of how many hoops up or down I am.
No. So we've got red on penult, so that's 10 hoops, and blues on 5, that's 4 hoops, and black on 9. Okay, so that's 8 hoops. 8 and 4 is 12. So nothing's been pegged out. I wonder where the other ball is. Oh. I think we'll just wait and see what happens now.
Yeah. So
I can see red on penult.
Stephen is clearly shooting at Kevin's red and yellow. I don't think there's a double there, so I think that this is just a very, very long shot. So here he goes.
And he's not taking
hits
a
it
lead,
very cleanly.
So, and
yep.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that sneaks through.
So I wonder where yellow's clip is.
Well, yellow was the one that came through rover. Yellow's on the peg. Yeah. So yellow's made 12.
Yeah. Peg and penult.
Okay, so Stephen's quite a way behind that.
Yeah. Okay, peg and penult plays 4 back and
there we go. We got some scores. But that looks the wrong way round though, doesn't it? Because I thought that. Oh no, Kevin's red and yellow. Kevin's red and yellow.
Yeah. Yeah,
so I think those scores are I think those scores are the wrong way round. So Trish, did you think that there was still plenty of time left in this game, or do you think we clearly haven't reached the bell because the players are showing some interaction?
Early on, Kate said that it was almost over on court 2, and now she's just let us know that it's about 5 minutes left. So Kevin really is in the box seat here, because to catch up, Stephen would have to play 2 turns, I think, unless he can manage to do a quad peel, because he's only on, he's on 9. Okay, so he's on 4 back. Yeah. So if Kevin finishes now, it's a done deal. But if not, Stephen would need to triple to finish.
Yeah. Well, so Kevin just needs to make 2 more hoops, and he should be able to get a rush to penultimate here, shouldn't he? Using the black.
Yes, he should. There'll still be a little bit to do.
As long as he doesn't. Oh, as long as he doesn't go out. That looks tight.
That's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Those pipes are a necessity at Cairnlea because of the wind blowing the balls around, but they do get in the way.
So Trish, we had a question about what constitutes a ball that goes out, and it's if the ball is touching the line at all, it's out. So it's interesting how different sports have very different views about what's in and out, isn't it? So in croquet,
it's the imaginary line or the imaginary plane on the inside line, on the inside of the line, and if the ball touches that imaginary vertical, then it's out.
That's right. So a bit of a nervy shot this for Kevin, because he doesn't want to mess this up. This is you don't want to let Stephen back in the game at this point. So making this hoop is quite important. One of the great things about croquet is that you've never lost until the balls have been pegged out, or until time has actually gone. You haven't lost, and actually you can be a long way behind even after time has been called, providing you're on the lawn and are able to make a break. So you can catch up after the bell, and that's something that we've all suffered and enjoyed, isn't it, Trish, in our careers?
That's right. Well, Kevin's a master at that. It's one of his sayings, I think. It's not over till it's over. And quite a few times Kevin has come back from the dead. But in this case, he's ahead. So he knows very well that if he leaves an opening, that Stephen might also come back from the dead. And he will be very keen to finish this game, make that last hoop and the peg out.
Absolutely. So the way to I haven't been keeping up on the map. There we go. I probably should be doing my job a bit better there. So the way to make this game over is to get a nice rush on the yellow towards Rover, which he hasn't done, but maybe he can rush it to somewhere near blue. I think the blue's all the way over on the other side of the court. Blue's well in. Well, that's all right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yes, yeah, so that's handy.
Yeah, sorry, we blame the mini-map operator there.
You're doing a great job. Now, it'd be interesting to see if he bothers to try and move yellow in at the same time as get the rush on blue. Yes, he is, because it will be quite difficult afterwards to fetch it out, to peg out. So he wants to put it up near the peg, but he really wants to get a rush on blue into Rover. So that's a bold shot, which hasn't really paid off. He really didn't want that ball to hit.
No, that little touch of the red onto the blue means that he doesn't get the rush to Rover. He simply has to play a croquet shot into it, and this is a difficult one.
It is.
This is
he just wants to stop in front of that hoop.
So, croquet shot plays in. It's in front of the hoop, but it's a fair distance away. If you were watching last week, then you'd think, oh, this looks easy. But as soon as you have your association croquet hat on, it suddenly looks a bit more treacherous. That, however, is a great shot.
He channeled a bit of golf croquet then.
He certainly did. He certainly did. He's got a nervous return roquet here. I think the listeners must think I'm a terribly nervous player, which of course I am. So
this is what Stephen calls an oh my God shot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it'll certainly be interesting if he misses it.
No, all of your practice and all of you.
And he does.
Gareth, you've done
well, no, but I didn't want him to miss so he'd lose. I wanted him to miss so that the viewers could see what happens when you miss, like when that happens. Now, unfortunately, Stephen doesn't have a lift, does he? Because I don't think because Kevin only needed to. Yeah. He started that break at penultimate. But the thing is that Stephen is still in this game. It looks hopeless. You know, Kevin has made all of his hoops. He's made 24 points for the hoops. Stephen is a long way behind. But I can tell you that if he manages to hit now, he is still in with a chance. He has. Okay. Right. This is amazing because the bell has gone, or it's about to go. But Stephen can still win this game because he can triple peel. He can take the blue around and he can put the black through its last remaining 3 hoops. And I can't think of any other game in existence where the time has gone and you're this far behind and yet you can still win.
It's amazing. And Stephen's lining that black up to go up to be peeled. He's absolutely got it in his mind that that's what he's going to do.
Absolutely. It's the only way he can win this game.
Yeah. There it is. Look at that.
There it is. There it is. Come on, Stephen. Give us an exhibition.
Stephen is a very, very experienced competitor. He's been playing around 40 odd years, and I think actually slightly more than 40 years. He's played for Australia more times than you can count. He's played for Victoria more times than you can count. So that in tight situations, Stephen is absolutely rock solid. So he'll be looking for a good rush to hoop 4. And if he gets that, I think Kevin, he'll be sitting on the edge of his seat now. Oh.
No, he needs 5.
Oh, that's not 4, it's 5. Yes, 5, because the score's up there. Yeah. I'm not used to seeing the score in that fashion. 4 and 9 is the number of hoops you made. And of course, we think in terms of the clips on 5.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
So I apologise to anybody listening.
It is an interesting thing that we normally we would think, oh, Stephen, no.
Oh,
I was just about
just when we thought he was all right.
Well, that's it now. That's it now.
Oh, what a shame. He did such a good job.
Yeah, because all Kevin has to do now is tap his yellow ball onto the blue and then take his yellow ball up to the north of red and rush it down towards the peg, and that's it. The only thing that could get in his way now is if he didn't hit the blue. And so what he's asking the referee to do is come on and check that he hits the blue cleanly. Unless he's thinking that he can't do that, and he's actually this could be interesting. Oh, he's actually taking the shot. He's pegging it out. He's pegging the ball out.
if the ball, if the bell had gone, he wants to make it no risk that Stephen can finish if he fails to make that shot, because to hit the blue, he would have had to run the hoop, I think.
Yeah. Well, okay. Having said that, croquet is a remarkable game because you're never over until it's not over until it's over. It would be extremely difficult to come back from this position because you'd have to triple peel with 3 balls, and in fact there may be not 3 balls on the lawn after this shot because Kevin's obviously going to shoot at the peg again, and out comes Mike to check that, to see if the yellow does hit.
So interestingly, Kevin didn't need to hit blue because when he looked at it, he realised that blue couldn't run the hoop. And now Stephen has moved blue so that it can run the hoop.
Yeah. Well, I think time must surely have gone by now.
Run up to yellow.
Apparently there's 8 seconds. So I think the bell is just about to go now.
Yeah. Well, Stephen can load. He can go. He can do a peel, leave yellow nearby so that he can rush it to 6.
I mean, this is a more doable position than the other 3-ball position that we saw earlier today, where it really was pretty much hopeless. But this one, I just don't know whether you noticed, Trish. Stephen waved into the air as if acknowledging that time had passed.
Yes, I did notice. I was going to say, look at that, there it is. But he didn't even attempt that peel. He was hitting that across the hoop 6, which did surprise me. I thought that he would have peeled it and actually brought yellow across and peeled it going to yellow.
Well, he's 4-6 now, isn't he? And he's. I think what he'll do is try and roll this so that the blue can make the hoop, but then the black can be rushed back across into a peeling position. No, what do I know? He's not doing either of that.
I don't. He's actually bothering with the peel because he just wants to make hoop 6. But I'm surprised that he didn't try it then.
Well, maybe. Let's see if he. Yeah. He's loaded 2 back.
He's making it. He's making a break, Gareth, without the peels now. That was the load for 2 back and using yellow for one back. But
time has gone, so he has to peel at some stage on this break.
I don't know why he didn't do it then, but he must have decided it was going to be too difficult.
So it would have to be some sort of straight triple.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think what he might be doing is making as many hoops as possible because he's won his previous 2 games, 26-0 and 26-7. I think the other one might have been. So if he accumulates quite a lot of hoops with this, he'll still be in the running for the match as a whole, the tournament as a whole.
Well, it's a good opportunity for us to talk about the 3-ball break then, which is a sort of a different style of break to what we've been looking at in the main run of the games. In this break, Trish, the player is the in player has only got 3 balls in play, and therefore they don't have the pivot ball that we were talking about earlier in the program.
Yes, the croquet strokes end up being much longer when it's a 3-ball break because you don't have the pivot that allows you to make a shorter shot and come up close to the pivot, which is usually somewhere around halfway between where you are and where you want to go. And the 3-ball break is the standard break that you're actually making all the time when you're peeling, because your pivot is the peelee. So it's usually somewhere where you wouldn't have it if it was just a normal pivot. So you're making a 3-ball break with the peelee. So what Stephen's doing now is making the 3-ball break, but unfortunately he doesn't have the spare ball, so he's not able to do the peels. Oh, there's a big curve on the cork there. That black ball curved right around. Yeah.
Didn't it? Yeah.
As long as Stephen makes this hoop with a forward rush, that won't matter. But there's always a big croquet stroke in the 3-ball break if you don't get a forward rush. So after this hoop, it'll be quite a big shot to load penult and get a rush on black into 4-back.
Yes, because at the moment he's not likely to get a rush here. He's got one.
Perhaps, yeah, perhaps
he's managed to actually get the yellow up a bit.
Mm. Stephen has a very neat flowing style with his croquet strokes.
Yeah.
Absolutely effortless plays side style croquet strokes. Hasn't got a lot of room after he comes out of this hoop to load down to rover and still hold the rush to penult. Yellow's gone a bit further than he would have liked, but it's all still doable. Yeah, no sign.
Yes, yellow's no penult. And but it's such a shame he didn't make that hoop earlier. He would have. It was very exciting when there was a possibility that he would be able to claw back victory from an almost impossible position. I was really looking forward to being able to show that's what can happen in this fantastic game.
Yes. He would have been disappointed because he did the difficult roquet and he moved the balls to where they needed to be, and that was just such a shame. So this shot, it looks like black and yellow are a bit too close together, but I think he'll probably manage to load it pretty well down towards rover and still hold the rush on yellow to penult.
It does. It doesn't look as if there's much room there at all.
No, hasn't got it down. But there's still ways around it.
Okay.
So because Stephen's in play when the bell went, Kevin does get one more shot.
Oh, that's true. He does.
So Stephen will be thinking about where he's going to put the yellow ball, because of course he wants to peg out the blue and make sure that there's nothing for Kevin.
That's lobbed in the hoop.
Oh,
all right, so Kevin to come on and hit one of those two balls and then peg his last ball off, and then that's the end of the game.
Stephen will be disappointed with that twice just barely coming through the hoop. Well, not coming through, but just playing ever so gently and not managing to make the hoop. He'll be disappointed with that. Kevin's given up with his hat.
He has.
He hasn't got any glasses on either.
No.
Yeah.
So having made that roquet, it's now a formality for Kevin. Now has 2 shots to hit the peg. I think I fancy my chances on that one. I don't think I'd be nervous here, Trish.
No, I don't think you would be either. I think he's probably thanking his lucky stars that Stephen did stick in those hoops.
Yeah.
All right.
So well played, Kevin.
26-19
victory. And I think actually that's probably the end of our coverage today. We've seen some intriguing play, and we've had some typical Cairnlea weather for the players to contend with. But the highlights for me, I think, have been Robert's incredible determination to peel the balls. He wasn't going to give up on his peeling. The amazing comeback that Josh Wilson made, which really was going exceedingly well until he had a really unlucky little tap on his own ball. And then in the second game that we've been looking at together, Trish, I think that tremendous excitement of the interaction between Robert and Callum.
Yes, I think it's been very good with each of the games that I've seen, that the play hasn't been all one way. Often it can be. Somebody makes 9, the lift shot is missed, and that first person then goes ahead and triples. But there has been quite a bit of interaction, which makes it much more interesting for people to see, even though it's wonderful to see a very accomplished player, complete a whole game with absolutely 0 mistakes. But it is more interesting for people if there's a little bit of interaction.
Absolutely.
We are tomorrow going to watch more of these players with different opponents, because this is a round-robin event with 8 players. So altogether that's 28 games, is it? 8, 7, 56, 28? Yes. And we're only showing 6 of those, I believe. Picking the best ones, of course.
That's
great
right.
venue at Cairnlea to be able to show you these things, and we hope that it's of interest to the viewers who are perhaps not absolute beginners at Association Croquet, but have enough knowledge to be able to follow what's going on. And it's so much clearer when somebody is playing the break that you should do, and you can learn from that. And I hope it's of interest to the people who've never seen a game of croquet either, because it's a mystery to many people, and they think that it's played with not pelicans. What is it? Those birds?
Flamingos. Flamingos.
Flamingos. Yes. So
anyway, so
much more evil.
We will we'll wrap up now, and we will be here again tomorrow at 10:30. And hopefully the weather will be better, but the commentary team will be just as good. So we'll see you all tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Gareth. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.